wondered what it would be like to jump in a pool with all of your clothes on, or to take a swim in your jeans and a t-shirt, I bet you've never thought of going to the beach dressed like this. We all go to the beach and we all wear swimsuits, but do we really know anything about where they came from or how they came to look the way they do today? I have a deep interest in fashion trends throughout history, and I've done a lot of research on the evolution of women's swimwear. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the history and evolution of swimwear, and we're going to look at swimwear through the 1800s, through the 1900s, and just a little bit about swimwear today. In the picture you see here, you see some women from the 1800s wearing the original bathing costume. This suit was usually knee-length, made of wool, always black, and usually worn with trousers or tights. These suits were meant to cover most skin. Bare skin was not acceptable at this point in history, and in a Smithsonian article by Emily Civic, she says, to prevent the garments from floating up to expose any amount of calf or thigh, some women are thought to have sewn lead weights into the hems of their garments to keep them down. When women went to the beaches, they often arrived in their everyday clothes, like in the picture you see here. They then hopped into these, what I call shacks on wheels. The technical term is bathing machines, and they would change into their bathing costumes and then go straight into the water. In Jessica Ray's presentation at Q Forums, she says, women would get inside the machines in their clothes, and then they would change into their bathing costumes. Then horses, or sometimes people, would drag the machines down to the water where the women would get straight in. Preserving modesty and decency was high priority for these women. Now that you know just a little bit about swimwear in the 1800s, let's look at swimwear in the 1900s. Right here in this picture, you see an Australian swimmer named Annette Kellerman. Annette Kellerman was arrested in the United States for swimming in a suit much like this one. It was indecent and scandalous at this time in history. Annette really revolutionized the face of swimwear because people didn't accept her suit at first. It took about a year for Americans to become comfortable with the suit, and once they did, the ball started rolling on the evolution of swimwear. In this picture, you see some suits from the early 1900s, about 1930. As you can see, these suits are shorter, they're lighter colors, lighter fabrics, they're more form-fitting and figure-hugging. As we continue to progress through the 1900s, we reach the 1940s, 50s, and the early 60s. We begin to see suits like these on America's beaches, and when we jump back to 1946, we are introduced to this man right here. This was Lovrien. He was a French designer, and he invented a new kind of swimsuit. He called the suit the bikini. He named it after Bikini Atoll, which is the first site of the atomic bomb. He named the suit the bikini because he knew that its effect would be shocking and explosive among the people of society. Mr. Rayard's suit was rejected, and he had such a hard time finding a model for his suit that he ended up having to hire an exotic dancer just to debut his suit. As we continue to progress through the 1900s, we reach the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This is the time when we start to see the bikini on the beaches of America, and throughout this period in history, you see suits much like the suits you see today. They varied in style, color, and were much more revealing than the original swimsuit. Now that you know just a little bit about swimwear throughout history, we can go to the beach thankful that we won't have pounds of fabric clinging to us as we swim in the ocean. We can be glad we won't be arrested for indecency. And now you have a little bit of an interesting story to tell your friends about their suits and where they came from.